Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I'm here to ask and answer the question, is Dying Light dead on arrival? And the simple answer to that question is no, Dying Light is very much alive. When it comes to zombies, I have this very deep-rooted fear. It's not so much their horrific appearance or the fact that they're going to eat your brains, it's more the concepts of losing your mind to this bizarre infection, whatever it is that causes you as a person to become a zombie. I would honestly rather be torn apart by zombies and have my organs, my intestines eaten by them than become a zombie. That would be horrific. And there are a number of reasons this terrifies me. First of all, I don't know what I would be without myself. I think we all like to define ourselves by our personalities. And I think if I was to lose that, I would no longer be me. And also you have to wonder, how do we become zombies? Is it still us, but overwhelming desire to eat other humans? Because it can still be you. It's a bit like, imagine you when you're really hungry. Your personality does change. You might be more grumpy, more abrasive towards other people, and as a result, your personality has indeed shifted a little bit. Is that what a zombie is? Or is it that you have literally had your sense of self scooped out and there is something else taken over? I think for different zombies there are different rules, and I'm not sure what they are for the Dying Light zombies, but hey, it brings me on to the topic of Dying Light. So with this fascination and fear I have of zombies, I naturally decided to jump right on to Dying Light, despite not really knowing what the game was about other than the fact that the living dead walk among us in this game. So first of all, what struck me straight away about the game? The graphics, they are very, very nice, very gritty, very grimy, but still beautiful. I love it when the designers manage to do that contrast where something as simple as sunbeams make up for the fact that you are in what is effectively hell. And that is what Dying Light very much is. I mean, I haven't seen the whole of the game, very much the opposite. I've only just played it. This is a first impressions, not a review. And so, just from what I've seen so far, the game is wonderful. In fact, in terms of quality, I would put it on par with Far Cry 4, which is essentially the greatest praise I could lavish upon it. The combat, I've only played a bit of a combat, and I know there's a skill tree in the game, so I can't even judge it totally fairly in that regard. But it does seem very satisfying on a primal level. You know, it's all well and good to be given these massive guns and to be able to mow down hordes of enemies, but sometimes you just want that primal whack with some kind of a mace, you know, a mace-like weapon in your hands. So when you whack these zombies, you really do feel it, especially if you're using a controller like I am. I should point that out for the record, by the way. I'm playing the PC version of the game, however I am using a 360 controller, just if you're wondering about the button prompts. People do tend to get confused by that. But anyway, so yes, when you're using the controller, because of the feedback you get, you really do feel like you are whacking these zombies. And not only is it the tactile feedback from the controller, but it is also the look on their dead faces, or rather the distorted, smashed look. The first FUD is deeply satisfying just on a primal level, but then you've got the gruesome second one, and then of course the absolutely devastating head knocked off their shoulders one, and that is a nice final blow. And also this game's got a very cool use of slow motion. In terms of how it's implemented, it reminds me of Batman Arkham series, because it's not triggered by the player, it just kicks in when it's best used, and it's done quite well from what I can tell here first of all. And I think one of the greatest things about this game though, it's not necessarily the primal combat, it's not necessarily the graphics, it is in fact the free running. Because I am a massive fan of free running. I love Mirror's Edge, I love Titanfall, I love it when a first person shooter is able to bring parkour into the game. And it's more like, it actually, no, it combines Titanfall and Mirror's Edge's form of parkour together. Because it has the cinematic and authentic edge of Mirror's Edge. So what I mean by that is you do have to think about what you're doing, you can take falling damage, you see your character struggling to climb up ledges, but it combines that with the practical elements of Titanfall, because Titanfall didn't focus on parkour, it just complemented the gameplay. So you needed to use it to shoot down people, but it wasn't like you were running along a track. And that's how it's used here in Dying Light, because you're using the parkour, in some cases to reach an objective, but it's primarily used to escape zombies or just to avoid zombies. Because in this game, you can't take on hordes of enemies like zombies in the way you can do in games like Prototype or Dead Rising. You do need to be careful. There's even a stamina system. You might have noticed when I'm whacking enemies, there's like an orange bar that fills up, and if you make it, it goes down rather. And if it goes down to the bottom, you can no longer hit people with a good amount of force, and so it's better to retreat. And so that gives a tactical element to the gameplay, because there is an element of survival to here. I mean, the other characters I have encountered, their primary focus is survival in this godforsaken environment. I was also quite impressed with the number of zombies, not only on screen, but the variety of zombies. So it's not just the standard drones, you also see some that are perpetually on fire. I don't know how that works, you'd think they would just burn away to ashes, but hey, it's quite cool to see. And there are also some nice little details in the world that, while very small, convey a very emotional story. I encountered a scenario where a coach had crashed through the side of a highway. I decided to go inside the coach and look around, and I did find some supplies for me, but I also at the front of the coach found a picture of a dog. And just from looking at this picture, you instantly understand what has happened here, or at least a scenario somewhere else that has happened. So the coach driver has died. He's either died from the crash itself, or a zombie has gotten to him, and now his dog that he obviously loved is, well, number one, it's alone, or number two, it's also been killed. Might be a zombie dog for all we know. It's a sad and emotional story. Being a dog lover myself got to me, and you don't always need a cutscene to convey a message, and it's quite cool that they're putting little subtle things into the environment to tell small stories. And I think I'll leave it on that. There might be more information on my channel about Dying Light in the future, so look out for that. As always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.